Greetings, Earthlings. It's your boy, Zebulon, from planet, who knows where I'm from. But, how you guys doing? I hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone is aware of something new today. You know, I feel like, everyone, like, if you're vibing with me, you already know there's been some kind of a shift in your awareness, your self-awareness. You started, like these emotional issues that's always been there your whole life started coming up and started vibrating, like crazy. It started coming out, and you notice some things about the world, the mind slavery of it, and then now you've come out of it, and now you're like, oh my God, like, what happened to me? What the hell happened? Like, there comes a point when you realize, damn, like, all the shit that happened to me, some pretty messed up stuff that you went through, actually is what made you great. Like, the stuff that you're holding on to, the insecurities that you have, the fear that you hold on to about yourself, the way you value yourself, it's all a coping mechanism. Ever since you're little, you haven't been living. You haven't been living until now. You've been coping. You realize every decision that you made, all the behaviors that you had, they were stemmed from the fact that you were in extreme lack in your emotional development, especially in not being shown Christ's love. So you've been coping your whole life, and you're angry and you're pissed off at people, and then you figure out, damn, like, these people, they're supposed to love me, and then you get really angry, man, and it's good. You need to be able to express that self, because your younger self wasn't able to defend himself or stand up for himself, and that reminds me of, when just an example, like, as a child, and that, like, you're standing up for yourself, and then that you're right, but your parents are like, I said so, I'm the boss, you obey me because I'm the head of the household. And you know that. And so, like, in order for you to have good relationships with your primary love givers, you deny yourself, you deny how you feel about certain things. Just, you know what I mean? So just so you can get your needs taken care of. But no one's ever stood up. And imagine you standing up for what you believe in, for how you really feel, in attempts to gain intimacy with that person, and then they hate you, and then instead of it giving them awareness, and then bringing them closer to you in love, and they say, crucify him, and then they deny the child, the son of his reality, and instead of seeing that he's the way, it's the way, the truth, and the life, you perpetuate, and then you kill, and I don't even, but the bottom line is that you realize that all that stuff God knew, and he prepared you, and he was there the whole time. And now that you look back and you see who you are, and all the stress that you had in your life, all that did was just build you up. All that did was put pressure, like when you work out, You know, you gain, you have resistance, and over time, you get stronger and stronger. And during this whole process, the long nights of crying out to the Lord, sometimes you didn't think you were gonna make it, but you trusted in Him, and you let His love be your compass. And then you were able to break that cycle. They tell you to like, you got anger problems. Oh, you got anger problems, but really, that anger problem is arising for a purpose, to show you, like, hey, there's something that's not settling with us internally, and we're coming out, because the only thing, like, they don't trust your feelings, but really, feelings are the only things you can trust, because you're gonna be filtering everything that you feel through how you think, how you perceive the world. And if you got that under control, if people got that under control of you, you're not going to trust your feelings. When your feelings are designed by God to protect you, to you know what I mean? You can't deny your feelings, but that's what they want us to do. But anyways, cause the main point is that, what do you do with it now that you know that all of it happened for a reason, that led you to this great awareness of yourself, and your surroundings, and your feelings and your behaviors, to where now all of this, your mind is so freed up, because before you were either thinking about the future, thinking about the past, you know what I mean, living in a stuck reality. But now you realize that, what how can you hate and hold hatred on people that, although yeah, you can say, yeah, you hold them responsible, be like, yeah, you know what, the way you raised me was wrong, and it made me feel like this, and it nearly almost took me out. But God, and all glory goes to the Father, all glory goes to God for His love, because that's what got you through it. So, what do you do with it? What are you gonna do with it? You can't hold on to it, even if you're so used, because it's a pattern of being angry and blaming people for why you're acting the way you do, which is, in Christianity, like, don't blame it, look at yourself, you're the problem. But you know what, it's more to that, because something happened to you. We're not just these irresponsible little worms, that God put down here, just like, you suck at everything, you know what I mean? Like, wow, man, look what I had to do for you. I had to come down here and die for you. Like, God He doesn't love like that. That's not a father's love. A father would die 1,000,000 times over, for their daughter, for their kid, and not be like, now you owe me your life. Now you owe me everything, and I want you to suffer now. You know what I mean? I want you to feel doubt. I want you to feel like you're not good enough, like your life isn't worthy for what I did for you. Like, no, that's not God's love. If you're, even in Christianity, if you're going to Christianity, then you're feeling guilt, you're feeling shame, you know what I mean? Like, that's just gonna keep you stuck in it. And that I feel like that's the thing where people are like, they speak of the power of God, or how does the Bible verse go? but they deny the power, like, they preach the gospel, they preach the right gospel, you know what I mean? Like, they preach Christ and His love, the love, the sacrificial love that stands up for truth. stands up for what what God wants. I forgot where I was going with that, but pretty much like you just have a certain gratefulness because now it doesn't matter what happened in the past because now your future is in Christ. And now you know the safety of the Father. You know the love of the Father. You know that He's for you. You know that there's no need for you to live in fear because perfect love casts out fear. So if you ever have that, if you're ever feeling fearful about anything, you know that. And I know there's a good type of fear, that keeps you alive. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fear that stops you from living. You know what I mean? Like when you live in the fear, when you're stuck in it, because it's just the way of life now. Fearful of these demons. Where are they? Where are these demons at? Are they gonna get me? Are they gonna get me when I'm weak? It's like there's no power in these demons unless we give it to them. You know what I mean? Like we demonize it. We demonize the part like our anger. We demonize our sexuality. We demonize wanting validation. And you say, oh, you're just being a narcissist and you want, like, yeah, they want attention. But there's a reason why they want attention. They're angry. There's a reason why you're angry. It's your parents' fault. They messed you up. But they also strengthened you in ways and made you aware of certain things that give you the superpower, you know, like in tune, being able to read people's emotions and being able to feel things, like. So pretty much, I guess, once you realize that, it's just like you're just living out of abundance now, of this gratefulness and this love that you can't help but just to, like, how am I gonna hold it against you, Because your parents they're hurt too. Something happened to them that perpetuates it. And then you pass it on, and it's subconscious because we desperately need their needs. You know what I mean? Like we're supposed to, we need them. You know what I mean? So in that hierarchy of needs, like if you don't get your basic needs met, you can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't progress to the next level, and then, you know what I mean? It's like, how are you supposed to care about like cleaning yourself or like getting a good job when like your basic needs, emotional needs aren't being met? So like you're gonna attach yourself to something that's gonna get those needs met, especially if if you don't have a right understanding. If no one ever taught you what true intimacy, what true love, what true like caring about someone and being there and seeing them and being fully present with someone and their pain. Like you're gonna go to the next thing that feels like that. Whoa. I just got punched in the face by a bug. But yeah, you're gonna go to the next thing that feels good, and a lot of times it has to do with your sexuality because that stuff feels good, like it's a surge, you know what I mean? I don't gotta explain it. And then we're just coping our whole lives. But you learn how to forgive, and I guess the first step is knowing like something's wrong with you, and then you go deeper, But if you stay stuck in like, it's just me, if I was just a little bit better and Christ had to die for me because I'm just this and that, but you don't take it deeper, and you realize that it's not like, yeah, you are doing bad things, and the Ten Commandments supposed to be like, whoa, something's off here. Like, why am I doing bad things? And then you're supposed to dig in deeper and realize why you're doing bad things. Because your parents taught you how to, like, your parents didn't show you how to regulate your emotions, how to like, they never let you um, express anger the right way. They made you suppress your feelings and your anger and your emotions, so that you can have a relationship with them, because it was an inconvenience for them. Like, be quiet, I'll give you something to cry about. Like, all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, my, my head hates when I cry. I can't, I'm frustrated with something. I don't know how to deal with it. I'm just a little kid. But you want me to shut the hell up because it's bothering you. And you don't want people to look at you like you're a bad parent. Like, I want people to look at me like I have my kids trained like dogs. They shut up when I tell them to. I tell them to go do this. Look at them. They're very respectful of everyone. Hey, shake that person's hand. That guy said hi to you. You better shake his hand. You better be respectful. Like, represent me. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't even give a shit about what the kid wants. You know what I mean? Let me just use you to get the validation that I need, because the parent never got the validation that they needed. But you know what I mean? But if you see how you can really hold that animosity if you don't go farther into your self-awareness. Because then you have to really go back. And man, I'm running this up, but it's just important. You got to go back and and sometimes to even have the empathy for your parents, you have to go to your grandparents, and then realize, and then see what happened with your grandparent, and then you realize that, dang, they've been putting this on their kids, and then their kids been putting it on us, and then you realize that that's the whole reason why I got this this low value, because you guys have been putting your insecurities on me your whole life. But yeah, but then you're you realize it. You get wise to it, and then you were able to show them love, and you can break the curse. And they ain't not gonna hit your kids, not gonna hit your kids, because they're gonna know what true love is. They're gonna know the love of the Father. They're gonna know the Father's love, the God's fatherly love, and His motherly love. And that's another thing, is that we've I think we've idolized the masculine part of God, when obviously God created the male and female in His likeness. So obviously there's two parts. You know what I mean? And you see the imbalance of the masculine and the feminine in the world. You see it like, yes, God is just for His justice, His power, His might, His authority, His masculine, His headship, His justice, His wrath. But what happened when Jesus came? You guys, the weightier things, compassion, mercy, you guys forgot about that. You guys are trying to attain it, not through faith, but as if you can attain it through works. As if your race has anything to do with it. But man, this is long. I didn't mean it to be this long, but I hope what I'm saying helps someone out there, because I know how it feels, and sometimes you do feel alone. You feel alone out there, and then especially if you're a Christian and you're going to church, and then people are telling you, we can't do this on our own. We need the one another's in our lives, But then it's like, where the hell are you guys? And then at the same time, I'm thinking, God's love is enough. Why do I need to go to a building? You know what I mean? If you want fellowship with me, and you know where I live, as if I can't have an experience with God at my own house, like, I can sing, I can worship the Lord, like, and so, like, and then also, like, if you're going to your church leaders, and they're telling you, like, open up to people, it's a doorway to intimacy, and then you'll realize that they're going through the same stuff that you're going through, and then you go to them and you realize that they can't help you. They're stuck just like you, thinking that they need other people, like, but really I realized that it's perpetuating this neediness, because most of us are codependent, and we're looking for someone to take care of us. You know what I mean? Because we never had that growing up. And so then, instead of going to God with all of our stuff, we feel like we need to go to a group meeting and have fellowship with people. And then what I'm realizing is just fake. It's not deep. We don't get into deep issues. We just have dinners and we eat, and then people give their money, and, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and then no one really addresses anything. And then if you try to address it, it just makes you feel like alone. You feel alone because it's like, okay, I just shared with you all the pain that I'm going through, but you're not there for me. And then you show grace for them and being like, yeah, I know they're busy, they can't do much, and but there comes a certain time when you're like, okay, things aren't adding up, okay, like, to the point where you're thinking, like, man, like, there's a generational curse in the church that people don't even realize. That there's some people that can actually preach the correct gospel, but because they don't understand themselves, they don't understand, like, the fact that they've only felt love in a way that, say, you only feel love when you feel like people need you. You do things for people and they make you feel loved, right? You're like, wow, you're so great. Oh man, you're so loved. I love you. But really, it was because you did something for them. And then to the person who did it, it's like, it feels good, because it's like, yeah, that instant gratification. Yeah, I did something and then it made me feel loved. But then at the same time, you hate that feeling of having to, of you want to just be loved without even having to do nothing for just who you are. But then, like, as a pastor, it's like, you probably feel like, man, would all these people be here if I wasn't a pastor? If I wasn't helping them? Like, where the heck would I be? Like, where would they be? It's like it's just a crazy cycle to be in, you know? And you just realize that they're still suffering. They're living with the knowledge of Christ, but denying the power. That's what it is. They proclaim this knowledge of God, but then they deny the power, like, because they're still in mental slavery, like. But we all are coming wise to this, like, things are happening, things are shifting. But all right, you guys have a good one. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me know how you guys feel, if you vibing with me, and just let me know if this information is helpful. All right, God bless you.